Yeah, Tim Krul's out. He obviously hurt his shoulder, the ACL joint, against in the last minute of the Everton win. So unfortunately, we lose him. I'm not sure on the time with him at the moment. But we've got some players coming back, but not for this game.
So Billy's not back either, or Norman isn't back?
No, Billy, Norman, Rupp, and Amamadeli. They should all be back. I'm hoping for the next game, which is Wolves.
The injury list isn't long enough that you would consider doing an Arsenal and looking for a suspension?
No, not at all. We've got enough players to play. We've got a squad that's becoming healthier by the minute.
Good stuff. I'll speak to you in a bit. Cheers, Steve.
Will do. Thanks, mate.
Niv, over to you.
Hi, Dean. Morning.
Morning. You okay?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Lovely. A win like the one your team achieved against Everton, what does it do to the body language and confidence levels of the players?
Yeah. I feel there's been a bit more of a spring in the step around the training ground this week. That's what a performance and a win can do for you. I felt that the squad was getting back to a healthier and stronger position, and I thought the performance against Everton was good, and it was a deserved victory. So it's certainly lifted the place.
And what type of reaction you expect tomorrow against Watford?
From both teams, I think there's going to be a big reaction because both teams will know how important the game is. It gives us the opportunity to try and climb out of the relegation places for however long. But it also gives Watford the opportunity to try and get away from us. And it's a really important game for both teams. So I think both teams will be really looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, Niv.
Thanks, Niv. Okay, if you could go to Jim from the Press Association, please. Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Sorry, was just being promoted, which is always a good feeling.
No worries.
Dean, can I just ask you a couple of more on Tim, if I can? I know the timescale is difficult at the moment. Is there any initial concerns that this could possibly look at something more long term?
I'm not sure at the moment, Jim. He's going to go and see a consultant, I believe. It might have been yesterday he saw one. So I'm waiting for the feedback really by our medical staff just to give me some time on it.
He's a big loss, even if it is just for a couple of games, isn't he? Yeah,
no, it's a big loss, as we saw when he missed the 2 games. I think it was against Arsenal and Crystal Palace. But when them big players come out of the team and are a loss, it's an opportunity for others. And Gunny was disappointed, obviously, with the results that we had in the 2 games that he played, and he's been working hard to get that opportunity back again, and present itself now with Tim getting injured, and he knows he's got to go and play well now.
So it's a real opportunity for him. I mean, obviously, his long association with the club, so it could sort of open the door for him to get an extended run in the team with his own form.
Yeah, it certainly can, but he also knows that we've got the likes of Nick McGovern as well, who's pushing him in training. John McCracken's been pushing the 2 of them as well. So, we're blessed that we've got 4 goalkeepers in the buildings that are all pushing each other at the moment. So, Goody knows he's got to come in and keep his place now.
We saw some pictures of you at the training ground earlier this week. You said, there's sort of a spring in everyone's step again. Is this now really feeling like this is your squad, this is your group of players, rather than one you inherited?
Yeah, I think you the longer you're here, the more you get to know about each other, and you become more comfortable around each other. So I'm certainly feeling that around the building now. I think the players understand what I'm about, and I try and remain as consistent as I can day in, day out, and not change any behaviours. So I think the not contentment, but just being comfortable with each other now is certainly helpful.
I know you said you don't like to look at the table. I think you said after the game you probably haven't looked at it for a couple of months anyway. But is it a bit disjointed down there with all of the matches in hand that Burnley have now?
I think it's disjointed across the league table because of, I think there's been 21, 22 postponements, throughout the festive period and January, such as been COVID and injuries for teams. So it's going to be disjointed for a while, and until they all catch up, it's going to be that way, unfortunately.
So is it better to have points on the board or games in hand?
I'll tell you when we're all level on games.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Dean. Appreciate that. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, James, over to you.
Hi, Dean. Looking back on that victory against Everton, just what has that done for the playing group? Has it just re-instilled some belief in everybody?
Yeah, it has. I mean, we'd obviously gone 6 games without a win, 6 games without a goal. And we had a bit of fortune with that first goal, which was an own goal, but the performance deserved the result. I felt our performance was better against West Ham. I felt that we've got some key players that were back within the fold of the team. So I could see that performance wasn't far away. And, thankfully we got the result with it as well. And it'll do wonders for the confidence of the players.
And just how important is this game tomorrow when you consider what's at stake, when you consider where both sides are on the table, and also the break that the teams are going to have after this game?
Well, I said before the Everton game to the players that, it wasn't quite the be-all and end-all game, but it was getting that way. So getting that victory was really important for us, and it probably takes a little bit more pressure off us now going into this Watford game, having got the victory. But we all know how important this game is against Watford, and, it can do a lot for both teams should they win it.
And where do you feel like Watford are at the moment? They're without a win since November, but they've been quite busy this month already. They're set to sign their 4th player later today, I think.
Yeah, no, they've been busy. They brought 3 players in. They've lost a few to, obviously, the African nations as well, the AFCON tournament. So, they're embedding some new players within their team. I think all 3 played against Newcastle last game. So they'll be finding their way into the team and how Claudio wants to play. I've been impressed. Obviously, they haven't had the results that they've got, but watching the games, they're certainly playing to a standard that we have to be very careful in the game tomorrow night.
It's been mentioned before the number of games that teams around you have played. Burnley only played 17. Are you surprised that this short break isn't being used to try and catch up on some of the games?
No, not really. I don't think it could. I think it was already in the calendar and had to stay in the calendar. I think it would be unfair to use that break on the teams that have already played. All the other teams that have got to go and catch up will catch up, after this break and, be playing 3-game weeks like ourselves have been doing and many others have been doing over the last period.
It looks like the Premier League are going to potentially change the guidance around match postponements, and that could kick in when the football comes back, the Premier League football comes back in February. What would you make of that if the rules were to potentially change mid-season?
I'd be disappointed because I don't think there should be. We're looking at the rules now and we're saying they're not. Well, we're saying they're not fit for purpose. But they're the rules for this season. I don't think we should be allowed to change them during the season. There's been 21 postponements. Each case heard on an individual basis by the Premier League, and for me, that should continue to the end of the season, and then they look at it and change whatever rules they need to at the end.
Brilliant, Dean. Great speech, Jim. All the best for tomorrow night.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, James. Andy, over to you.
Hi, Dean.
Hi, mate.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah. Dean, obviously, you said you don't really look at the table, but you can't escape the fact that if you win tomorrow, you're out the bottom 3. So how much of an incentive is that for you and your players?
The incentive is more to beat a team that's just above us. We know there's a small cluster of groups at the moment who are all fighting, to get out of them relegation places. But the most important part is after 38 games. So we've got the chance to beat a rival of ours who are in a similar position. They haven't had a win for a while, but, bringing in new players and look like they've got, in their performance levels, have got a spring in their step. So we've got to make sure we're at our best and just concentrate on not the table, but beating the next team in front of us.
Yeah, definitely. And And Adam Eder, I mean, it's been noted how good he's been in these last 2 games, and just how key could he be moving forward?
Yeah, he can be key as long as he's consistent in his performance. He put in a positive performance against West Ham, and he's followed it up with another one. And I'll be pushing him for that consistent level now from him, because he can be really important in terms of. I said earlier in the season when I came in that we had to share the weight of the goals from with Timu Puki, because at times we were all looking to him for some. For a goal or 2, and now we've got the likes of Adam now who are stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, and Adam's obviously a young player, and in Tim Krul you've lost another senior player. So how important is it that your senior sort of leadership team within your squad step up and kind of fill that gap?
Yeah, no, it's really important. Losing Tim's a big blow for us, obviously, because of the experience that he gives and the quality he has as a goalkeeper. But we've got Grant Hanley back, we've got Ken McLean back from COVID issues as well, which brings us back to a bit more experience within the squad.
Yeah, just quickly, you've made an appointment this week. Liam Bramley came in as first team coach. How's he been getting on?
Yeah, he's settled in really well. He's a really good, knowledgeable coach, a young coach that I really liked watching at Aston Villa. He was with the 18s and won the FA Youth Cup, and then we promoted him to elite development coach. So I've watched his work firsthand and been really impressed. And he's impressed in the first couple of days he's been with the squad.
Great. And just finally, I mean, you obviously weren't in charge, but Watford have had the number on Norwich in recent years. Is there any sort of talk among the players that they want to get a bit of revenge on them?
No, not spoken about that at all. I'm not aware of the past results, but I think we've got 2 different managers at the helm of both clubs now, so it's a different game going into it now.
Brilliant. Well, good luck for tomorrow. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Andy. James.